Welcome to the Abundant Accountant Podcast. This is where accounting professionals just like you come to learn all the most efficient ways to grow their firms, sharpen their skills, and have consistent increasing sales. We cover topics from how to not be salesy, pushy, annoying, a nag, harassing to your prospects and clients, finding your ideal client, increasing sales, and really putting up boundaries so you only work with clients who you truly want to work with, and stop donating your time away for free and start actually getting paid for the worth that you deliver to your clients. You'll learn sales strategies, sales tips, as well as hear from other successful accounting professionals in the industry. This podcast will show you step by step the path so you can create a firm and a life of your dreams full of abundance. Welcome to the Abundant Accountant Podcast. Today, we have a very special guest. Our special guest is the CEO of TaxProMarketer and AdvisorProMarketer. He is the nation's leading marketing agency group, serving accounting and tax practices since 2007. He has also been a multi-year honoree of CPA Practice Advisors Top 40 Under 40 and has published widely in the industry publications and is the author and editor of 2 Amazon bestsellers. He's also the father of 7 children that we're going to hear a lot about today, and 4 of them who he and his wife adopted from overseas. So he has a lot on his plate. He has some hobbies, but mostly he's a marketing guru. But before we welcome our special guest to the show, I know it's crazy that so many accounting and tax pros think that increasing their fees will lose them clients, resulting in lower revenue. And I know, everybody thinks that that's the way to get more clients, is to discount fees to your prospects and your current clients, but it's just not true. And the accountants I work with increase monthly recurring revenue by as much as 3x by following a much newer and far simpler method. So if you want to see how the other accounting professionals and tax pros are doing this, then make sure to register for my brand new masterclass at theabundantaccountant.com/masterclass. It is an investment of 49 minutes that will provide a lifetime of increased revenue. So once again, head on over to theabundantaccountant.com/masterclass to register and watch right now. If you can't make the time, then you'll get the replay. And now let's welcome our special guest to the show, Nate Hagerty. Welcome, Nate, to the show.
Michelle, it is a pleasure to be with you.
It is an honor to have you here, and I already did your intro, but I think it's always best to hear what it is that you do directly from the guest. So for those that are listening that don't know you, can you share a quick minute about who you are, what you do, and what's the business that you created to help a bunch of accounting and tax pros?
Sure. So I am the CEO of TaxProMarketer and AdvisorProMarketer, and I'm mostly known in the industry for TaxProMarketer. We've been serving the industry since 2007. We're like the foremost independent marketing agency for tax and accounting professionals. And we're really known for relationship-oriented, direct response-infused marketing where we, especially in the digital marketing space, where we create kind of these online marketing machines on behalf of our clients. But what I like to talk about in particular is just doing the basic work to establish yourself as the local or industry market expert for your particular niche, whether it's tax planning, compliance, tax preparation, accounting, CFO work, whatever that might be, whatever vertical that you work with. And there's so many different things that people they get so distracted by the shiny objects and the new software that comes on the market every 6 months that they don't actually get the stuff done that will form the foundation for like an effective, long-lasting online marketing platform, essentially.
Yes, so that is what we're talking about today. So I'm super excited to have you here on the Abundant Accountant Podcast, especially since you've been, working with all of our listeners since 2007. And today's topic is the 5 pillars that you need to build the right foundation for your marketing. And like Nate was saying, it's about the foundation. So if you think about it, and him and I were talking offline, like you have a house, and before they can put up the walls and put in the insulation and all that other stuff, they have to put the concrete down. They have to lay the foundation. And I think a lot of firm owners miss this, when you're starting your firm and about to embark on some marketing. And on a few other episodes, Nate, we've talked about the difference between what is sales and what is marketing. And everything that we're going to talk about today relates to the leads that you're going to get, the client interaction that you're going to do through one of the pillars that Nate's going to share today, how people perceive you and your firm, and the other things that we need to make sure that aren't like the people's houses. When you go to them, it looks like it's really clean and organized, but if you were to open up a closet, everything would just come tumbling down on top of you. So you go to Nate's house. He has 7 kids, so there's probably a 7-bedroom or mansion, I don't know what you call it, palace. And in all the bedrooms, he has it totally looking clean. And then if you go into him and his wife's room and all the 7 kids and you open the closets, it's like you would have to go and I don't even know. It would be like a pile, like the.
Well, let's just say I've got 3 teenage daughters, and one of my 16-year-olds in particular is pretty challenged in this area. So
is she? Yeah, collects a lot of things.
Yes.
Okay, so those are the 5 pillars. So let's talk about the first one, Nate.
Yeah. So I mean, even before the pillars, kind of the framework philosophically, I love that you talk about the difference between sales and marketing, because the way that I see marketing in general is that in a relationship journey. Mm-hmm. And marketing at its core really is about building relationships in a scaled way. Like, when you meet somebody in real life and regular life, you're not going to, say you're looking for a spouse, you're not going to propose marriage on the first date, because the chances are good that anybody who would say yes to that is super weird and probably not the kind of person that you want to be married to, right? And the same is true, I think, for clients and prospects. They're checking us out, and they want to get a little feel about who we are in our philosophical framework and our level of expertise, and what in the area that we are serving in, before they're going to commit to a $10,000 service package or whatever it might be. They've got to kind of get their questions answered, right? So the way the modern prospect does that is they check you out in all kinds of different mediums. And it used to be the case that if you just had a great website, that was enough. And that's why we're talking about these 5 pillars, because the modern prospect is bouncing all over the place. And you've got to have these things working together. And the pillars really are like an effective, main website that forms the content foundation for all of the other components of, your house, so to speak, if we want to carry the analogy.
Yeah, let's carry that on. So I think a lot of people listening too think they need this complex, multiple page website. What would be the basic thing for, let's say I was just in my class, my 8-week sales mastery class with other students. And I don't know when you're listening to this episode, but, cryptocurrency is now a big talk on how to manage the capital gains and how to help clients get it organized. And you could charge quite a bit of money for advisory services for this. So let's say someone wants to become a specialist in that area and be the go-to, tax crypto guru to make sure everything is legit and you can mitigate your risk from an audit.
Well, so I've got good news and bad news, Michelle, because the good news is it doesn't have to be that hard. Because let me tell you a story. I actually did an interview with 5 of our kind of most successful clients. We did an all-star panel last week.
Oh,
cool. One of them just kind of offhandedly mentioned how they've gotten a bunch, I don't remember the exact number that she used, a bunch of clients who came to her because there was an article that we had written for her on crypto. And it was a blog post. And she didn't even remember that we had put it out there on her behalf.
Wow.
but it's a page. And so she has a blog attached to her website. And so you really do need a website that has the ability to crank out individual pages, because the way the algorithms work is they want pages upon pages, and so related to specific keywords, and they want a keyword focus on one page. And so, yes, you can have a generalist, simple 3 or 5 page website built on Wix or Squarespace or something like that. But the reason why we have always pushed all of our clients towards the WordPress platform is because it was built as a blogging platform. And as such, you can crank out individualized pages real simply and easily. Whereas you've got platforms like ClickFunnels and some of these other page builders out there. And, God bless those who are using like the $500 a year site solution type, solutions out there. But the WordPress platform enables you to just put out relationship unique content on a regular basis, and the algorithms pay attention to recency and authoritativeness, and whether it was like written by a human, and there's all kinds of different things that they look at. But in 2022, what the algorithms are really looking at is that it's readable, authoritative, and the users like to see it. So AI content isn't going to help you. You're not going to be able to game the system. It's just got to be written by a human for humans. Yeah, and so crypto is a great use case there, because you can write a blog post about it and get ranked pretty quickly for it, especially within your local market area. Does that make sense to you,
Yeah,
Michelle?
that makes sense. It's like, that's the first bedroom in your house. I mean, we're talking about the 5 pillars today, but in Nate's world, it's the 7 pillars. And I think it's true. Having the foundation and a presence online with a couple of blog posts based on your specialty. And if you need help doing that, you can hire Nate. What would be the second pillar that is the most important of getting your foundation set before you embark in any marketing, even though this is all a form of marketing and building that trust in the relationship? But as people are checking you out, just like you wouldn't get married on a first date, what's that second date look like?
Right. So thinking about that relationship journey, the first stages of the journey is really just about awareness, that people know that you're there, right? And so that's why you want to have that website, the first pillar. And I think we could include search engine optimization in there. And depending on your aggressiveness, like an advertising strategy would be another pillar. And that's one that I actually failed to mention to you in our pre-conversation here, Michelle. But that would be an important component of it, especially for those who want to get quick results, because the website, the content machine, so to speak, that the website enables you to have, that does take some time to kind of build momentum and establish rankings in the organic listings. But if you want new clients tomorrow, you can start an advertising campaign that you attacks the same kind of keywords that your target client would be looking for. And I like to do advertising, especially on Google, because it's beginning the journey where people are already looking for something specific, rather than having to interrupt, in the social media advertising space where it's an interruption style ad. This is an intent oriented ad where people are looking for something specific, and you can scratch the itch that they've already got. I like that. Now you can target really tightly demographically on social media and kind of catch people in a modality where they're wanting to consume content that you put in front of them. And there's great ways to do Facebook and LinkedIn advertising that can reach your target audience. But I like the search advertising because of it's meeting people where, to use the dating analogy, it's like going to a speed dating event versus going to a bar, where at the bar people are maybe or maybe not interested in finding a partner. At speed dating, there's a reason they're there, right?
Yeah. There's intent. They have a goal, they have a mission, and they want to have that happen a little bit quicker and a little bit more organically.
The other awesome thing about advertising is you can target non-local market areas. And so say you're in Iowa, and you want to reach into Chicago, an hour away or an hour and a half away, well, then you can place advertising that only goes in the Chicago metro area, but that like your Iowa-based CPA firm is reaching into the Chicago metro, because proximity is a huge deal from an organic traffic standpoint from Google's eyes, but they will let you advertise, to a particular metro area. So there's lots of different use cases. Just sort of depends on what you want to do. And advertising can form also a great foundation for people who are wanting to like test out new keywords and new focuses and new like target clients that you want to reach. Mm-hmm. So it's a way to kind of like in a cheap way test the waters before you commit to building a lot of content around particular keywords. You can see the response from an advertising standpoint.
And do you have anybody from your expert panel of clients that had a great story? Maybe it was even the crypto woman of something, she placed some advertisement in front of an exact example.
Oh, well, the people on that panel and the examples we use, we're talking about dozens, over 100 leads per month.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. Calling people that are the right kind of prospects. And, so yeah, it just depends on your level of aggressiveness. That's what's great about advertising. Now, if you're doing it on your own, I think you can try it, but it's like going to the Las Vegas casinos. It's definitely stacked in the house's favor. So you want to be able to have somebody who understands negative keywords and understands kind of like the way to optimize campaigns on a daily basis instead of just setting it and forgetting it and having separate campaigns for different keywords and different services. We can get really granular.
Yeah, no, we're talking about just the things to think about in those 5 pillars that before you really want to start finding your, crypto tsunami clientele, there's a few things you should probably get in place and make sure that not only the closets are clean inside, but the foundation in your presence is really intact, because there's a few more pillars that are important that I know that some people will cringe at because we hate it. One of them's social media. I know that already. And we don't want to spend time on LinkedIn and Facebook, but it's important to know, that the presence and what you've written there is ultimately going back to, Nate, what you said, which is the foundation of all of this is building the relationship and growing that relationship in a really connected way.
Exactly. And you want to be able to and it sounds more complex in concept and in kind of like big idea format than it actually really is in function. And what I mean by that is really when you start with a good content hub on your main firm website and you've got good content, like everything else flows out from that. And so you can actually drive ads to your content pieces on your website, and then just the whole goal of that ad is to get people on your website, and then you can more directly retarget people who visited your website with a more specific kind of let's set an appointment call to action. And that's actually a really great 2-step strategy, is for cold traffic, so to speak, getting people just exposed to your content, and then you get permission to then retarget to them, and then you can be more direct. So you're not proposing marriage on the first date. And there's ways to do that even more effectively that we can talk about in a moment. But the third pillar that I really want to emphasize that a lot of people don't realize, because a lot of wankers like me, marketer guru types, don't like to talk about this. And the reality of the online space in 2022 and moving forward is that Google in particular really wants to keep their users like on their own properties. And as such, the Google business profile, formerly known as the Google My Business profile, it changed that just recently. The Google business profile is as important, if not more important, than your $30,000 website or whatever you paid, that your awesome web designer to create, which is kind of crazy because it's free, but it drives as much activity, if not more. In fact, in 2021, there was a survey of marketer like sharks like me, And 74% of us say that it is as important or more important than your main website. And that is optimizing your Google business profile, or your Google My Business profile. And so what that means is make sure you claim it. You go to business.google.com, make sure that your business entity is claimed. You should see like the control panel for your business there. If you don't, then you need to Google yourself by name of your business. And in the little corner where it says claim this business, click that link, claim your business. A lot of people think that they've got their profile claimed and whatever when they don't, because Google will actually create the profile for you, whether or not you've done it on your own. And so you got to claim it to then optimize it. So you claim it, then you can clean up all the information on there, claim all the proper categories that you serve, add content because you can post to it like a social media network, and then generate reviews and drive traffic from your existing client base to add reviews to your Google business profile. This is hugely important, as important. It actually does impact your website rankings on the Google page below it. Those two work together really synergistically. How many reviews you have and the quality of them will impact the ranking of your website in the area below the maps listing. But then it'll also, of course, impact your ranking in like what we call in the marketing world, the snack pack or the local pack. Like when you see the top 3 listings that are on the map when you do a Google search, right? There's a different algorithm for how you place there versus how you place in the listings below that. So for how you place there is really all about what you do with business.google.com. So you've got to make sure you've got that nailed. We can help you with that. That's something we do every day on behalf of accountants and tax practitioners. But it's something that you have to actually do. So you have to like get a text message or phone call or postcard. Most often it is a postcard because they want to verify that scammers aren't like claiming these listings, right? So you got to do that. And then you got to add content. But then there's all these other secondary listings, and we claim like over 50. I'm talking about like Yelp and Bing Local and Apple Maps and Angie's List and all like Merchant Circle, YellowPages.com, Kudzu, Hot Frog, blah, 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 blah. There's tons of them that really are like specific to accountants and service professionals that are financially oriented that you have to make sure, because here's the deal. If you've ever changed the name of your business, if you ever changed your phone number, your address, whatever, the robots are scraping that data and have it all over the internet, and you've got to clean that up. And so like one of the things we do actually for anybody for free is we'll run an analysis of what all the data about your business is out on the website. So if you just go to like our website, TaxProMarketer.com, grab a free membership, and then like grab what we call a lead flow acceleration session, we will actually run a free report that you can use. Whether or not you want to engage our services or not, I really don't. I mean, of course, we're not a charity. I'd love to serve. But at the same time, that will give you a snapshot of the health of all of the data out there about your business. So that is so important because that drives so much traffic.
No, I understand the importance. And to me, it really sounds like if you don't listen to anything else Nate says today, take him up on that free report and get your Google listing figured out today, because you're missing out on opportunities, building the relationships, getting your client reviews up on there, and other opportunities. So yeah, it sounds like that's a crucial one. That should be pillar 1. We should have reversed the order.
It's really important. You're right. I mean, so it's so synergistic with the SEO and the website that it's kind of like hard to choose between them, like the two children, right? Like, but it is so important to make sure that your data is not like confusing the robots. We do not want to confuse the robots.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to pillar number, I think we're at 4. That one sounded really good and important, and I'm thinking to myself, I think I need to go do that too. So,
well, let me say one more word about that, because whether or not you have like a local market, or maybe you have a industry vertical like cannabis or crypto or truck drivers or real estate agents or whatever it might be, your Google business profile still applies. And so whether or not there's like a maps listing that will pop up in the search results, if people are searching for you, they're going to find like the little like pane on the right side of the Google results, right? You guys all know what I'm talking about when you're listening. When you search something, that is something that you can control, and you've got to be able to have the keys to that. So that's really, really important. All right. So the fourth, I mean, do I want to offer the one that's my most favorite or my least favorite? Because which should I end?
Let's end with your most favorite.
Okay. So my least favorite then is going to tick you off, Michelle.
I know.
Social media.
I know.
Yeah.
I think it's everyone's least favorite here listening right now.
Well, here's why I actually downplay it for our clients and for accountants and CPAs in general, because here's the deal, Michelle, you are a unicorn. And like, just understand that you are a remarkably gifted networker and a remarkably gifted social media user. Most CPAs and practitioners don't have either the gift mix that you do, let's just name that, but also they don't have the time to spend. So you can optimize your time because it's real intuitive to you. You can like kind of dip in and out real well. Most people have to kind of work up the unction to be effective on those platforms, when in actuality, the highest leverage activities that they should be doing are not on social media. But here's where it needs to be a part of the mix, is that people do check you out.
Yep.
And they're ranked highly on the search rankings, and they will find your LinkedIn profile. They will find your Facebook page. They will find these properties. And if you have not posted stuff there for the last 6 months, they will see that, and it'll be a negative marking in your favor. And so, or not in your favor.
Negative marketing, not in your favor. Yeah.
Right. So you've got to have stuff that's posting like multiple times a week. We post every day on behalf of all of our clients, and I recommend at least once a day content. It doesn't have to be super flashy and important. And you really want to go after engagement there, because, I mean, it can be part of that relationship building mix. But honestly, like, unless you are advertising on those platforms, which there is a place for that, and that's something that we sometimes do with our clients. It's really just a maintenance location. Like, it's really something that's just got to be done. Got to get stuff out there. So have a staff member be posting content, like a young Gen Z person or something, be posting content on your behalf, or have a agency like ours handle it on your behalf. Doesn't matter. Just have somebody doing it. That's like the main thing, in my opinion. Now, we can argue about this, Michelle. I'm happy.
No, we don't need to. It's really important, and I know no one here knows. I've never met a CPA or a practitioner or tax pro say, Michelle, I love social media. I don't think I've ever heard that in my thousands of conversations with you. However, I do know that there are interns, there are people that want to become a part of a CPA firm, they want to get into accounting, and these are great students in colleges that you can have as interns in your firm or in your virtual firm to help you, create some of the stuff that needs to get posted every day, because prospects and potential clients will be checking you out. And you don't want to lose an opportunity just because you didn't post something educational or engaging one day.
Exactly. And I just don't want people to see that this is like you're going to somehow catch fire and go viral. It happens, of course. Like, I've got my friend who you probably know him, who's like a TikTok influencer now, and has you know what I'm talking about, Duke? And
yeah.
He's awesome. But like, can everybody replicate that?
No. And that's and Duke, I remember talking to him when he was first starting out. I think he had just started his TikTok, and his Instagram had a few 100,000 following. And, he had a vision and he had a goal, but he also had to make sure all these other elements and all the pillars in his firm were put together. However, I know he also has a team of people who want to become a part of his firm that are probably helping create a lot of the ideas and reposting his content and other things. He can't do it all by himself. And that's his thing. And I think each person listening has their thing, where maybe if you just go all in on the Google Your Business, unless Duke had you help him, Nate, I don't know if he would have focused his time on that. He'd rather make videos.
Yeah. And he's great at it. And
Yeah,
he's
he's
awesome.
great.
And I
Yeah.
like him, but I just don't think that's a scalable, replicable model
I agree.
for, everybody who's listening to this podcast. And that's why I want them to focus on pillar number 5, which I do think
All right.
is
What's your
scalable.
favorite? What's number 5?
Okay, this is my favorite, and it is actually the most important marketing medium that you could master and focus your time on, and that is email. Email marketing. Yeah. So the rumors of email's demise are greatly exaggerated. In fact, if you look at the data, there is just like skyrocketing in usage and effectiveness. And that's, in my opinion, because brands but even like not brands, small businesses, small professional practitioners, influencer types, whomever, people like us are realizing that email is the most effective medium for moving relationships forward. There's lots of suppositions why I believe that's the case, and I could, share my theories. Really what matters is what the data shows and how it drives revenue. I mean, it's like a 42-to-1 ROI for all the different studies and analyses. I mean, it ranges, but it's all really, really ridiculously awesome. And that's because I also think people are figuring out that how to do email better and better, because we've all been living with it for 20 plus years, right? So we kind of know what works and what doesn't. It used to be the case where I had to really pound the table about not sending out these tax tips newsletter things that are free with these cheap websites, right? And everybody has sort of figured out in our industry that those aren't really worth anything, right? Because they're just commoditized crap. But when you write email that's relational, that is written as if you wrote it, and you write it to a real person, honestly, you don't have to be an amazing writer. If you are writing something that is from the heart, that is the most effective way to reach your clients and prospects. And as such, it will drive the needle the most for all the different marketing components of what you build. So the website, the Google business profile, SEO, pay-per-click, social media, even that's all front door stuff. Email is what builds that relationship to tease people up for what you are amazing at, Michelle, which is the sales and the pre-sales orchestration that is possible with email. You do this, Michelle.
I know.
I'm on the email list. You know exactly what I'm talking about. So you can build a multi-step relationship building sequence, the very first time that you get permission. So you can offer them whether it's a white paper or have them fill out some sort of questionnaire, which is what we've moved to, by the way. It's the best conversion mechanism I've seen in the last year or two is a survey on your website, instead of just here's the free report about the 7 biggest ways that you can save on your taxes or blah, blah, blah. Actually just getting people to create that customized experience feeling on your main website. And then you can get them on your email list. And then you build that relationship over time. And that is so powerful.
And I think also, Nate, for everyone, email for most accounting and tax pros that I've met, are introverts. So not everyone's going to be this extrovert like Duke all over social media, and that you get to just sit behind your computer and send a nice message to your prospects and ask them for permission to send another email. And if we're looking at it from the survey perspective, like on the cryptocurrency, you could even write a blog post, and if you want to, you can put it on your website or have Nate do it for you. And then just create a survey that says, are you terrified of how you're going to track your capital gains on every transaction that you had in your accounts? Are you, or maybe on your survey you could say, are you completely, uncertain of an audit this year? Because that's been the talk of the town. And you can come up with other questions that I know you hear from most of your prospects. And that's a great idea for a survey. And then each email that you create could be about that topic to educate them that if they don't hire the best, which is you, then what's their alternative? Their alternative could be an audit. It could be taxes, extra tax they have to pay, higher interest on the late tax that they paid. There's so many different things that could happen. But if you pick that as a niche, and maybe, Nate, you could share a little bit about what your client did, that would be great. But I think email is such an amazing tool for introverts.
And you can nurture that list over the years. So, I mean, I have so many stories. I've been doing email on behalf of CPAs since 2008. And I mean, it's the sort of thing that like, you don't realize how powerful it is until you actually start doing it. And it's literally every client of ours, because we write a weekly email, and we actually have multiple different content tracks. Like for those who just do advisory services and don't touch tax, we've got a track. We've got small business write-up business tax track. We've got 1040 clients. We've got resolution. We've got like different content streams, and each of them have a different feel and what have you. But the point is, we've got these weekly emails that our clients send out that feels like our client wrote it. And so their end user client receives it, and it's so fresh and different, because most CPAs and practitioners don't take the time to inform, educate, and like be themselves with their clients. Yeah. That when you do that, it is such a differentiator and is such a relationship sealer and a referral generator and a review generator and a sales creator. I mean, it is such a powerful thing to implement.
It is. Well, Nate, thank you so much for being here and sharing all of these pillars. We had 5 plus a little bonus with the SEO and the advertising. Is there anything else that you want to share with the listeners today that maybe we hadn't talked about? Or I think we've covered most of it, but just want to check in one more time before we depart for today. And just want to say thank you once again for being here with us on the Abundant Accountant podcast. I definitely have some homework I need to go check out and do on my housekeeping and make sure my closets are nice and clean.
I love that analogy. No, I think we've covered kind of the big picture. I mean, if you were interested in going real granular and technical on this stuff, you can get on our website, and we actually have a lot of resources in our free membership, and I do webinars that dives into a lot more technical details of SEO and local listings, and the nerds out there, we all rejoice together. But no, I think this is a good start. I mean, I think the main thing that people should understand is that if you just do like 2 or 3 important like housekeeping details in each of these pillars, and you just attack each one, you will be heads and shoulders above your competition. I mean, our industry really is like, there's that old saying, in the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king. And our industry still really is the land of the blind. And so if you just open one eye and do a few things well in each of these areas, you're going to win. And I'm saying even in large metro areas, we've taken CPAs from obscurity to like the top 20 CPAs in the New York City metro. In terms, they've won awards, and they didn't do anything except just let us serve them. And I mean, it really doesn't matter where you serve, whether it's the sticks or like LA. It really this stuff works when you do it.
It
to
does.
make people do it.
Yep, it does. Well, Nate, thanks again for taking out the time, sharing your genius with us, sharing and enlightening how great email is, especially in 2022 and beyond. So thanks again for having the time to come here on the Abundant Accountant podcast. It was an honor to have you.
Thank you, Michelle.
What an amazing episode with Nate teaching us the foundation of what to do before you start marketing and advertising and making sure our house and our firm's houses are nice and clean and tidy. So if you do anything, I recommend focusing on the Google My Business pillar and stopping what you're doing right now, going to Google, claiming your business, and doing all of the steps that Nate shared today. Claim the business, clean up the information, add some content, generate some reviews. If you have client reviews on your website, a great way to do it is to email the people that gave you a review, ask them to copy and paste it onto your Google review. And this will just increase not only your local reach, but your presence, your foundation, your house. What is it that people see? And for those of you that want to see how the accounting and tax pros are increasing their monthly revenue by at least double and increasing their base fees by 3 times as much with the simpler new method, then you can learn that method in my brand new masterclass. Head on over to theabundantaccountant.com/masterclass to register. It is an investment of 49 minutes right now to provide a lifetime of increased revenue without working more hours or having to get more designations and qualifications. So that's theabundantaccountant.com/masterclass to register and watch. And I look forward to seeing some of you there. Have a beautiful day.